Here we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, everybody. It is 1 o'clock right here in the UK. I promise I won't fall asleep. So today we are going to have a great hangout. We've got the wonderful Jennifer, that I actually met on Facebook a few days ago, that I knew very vaguely, but I could remember her face, and I knew where she was coming from. So it was nice, and for the first time, I'm actually seeing her in real life, live! Yay! And so that's quite exciting. She's going to share some great information about how she's building a business online and how MLSP has helped her building a business. So it is going to be very interesting, very exciting. If you are new to this community, there are so many things which are going to change your life. So thank you so much for being here for the first time with us, Jennifer. This is going to be awesome. And we've got the wonderful, powerful Lydia Brown. And
hello, everybody.
And Lydia is my mastermind partner. Not sure where to look. Yeah, just right there. So Lydia is my mastermind partner. We've been working now together for quite a few months, and the purpose of this group is to help everybody to find a mastermind partner, to grow together, to share thoughts, to share ideas, but more importantly, to move your business forward. And it is so important to find somebody you can rely upon and share thoughts, when you feel either down or when you when you want somebody to share your joy. Well, having a mastermind partner is absolutely brilliant to help you move your business to the next level. What we've done as well in the past is hosting webinars where we were delivering content on how to brand yourself using social media, how to prospect, and all of that. And what we've seen is actually many people within the team that we thought were confident enough to host their own webinars, and we've seen some amazing rising stars. So if you are new to this Mastermind Fever Hangouts, well, stay around, because we would like to hear more about you. We'd like to see you participating in what we're doing, and it's going to be great fun to see you striving and become ultra successful, and we see you on TV and on radio. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so without further ado, we are going to have Jennifer, who is going to tell us a bit more about herself and what she does and her experience about the event in San Diego, and just talk to us about how you're building your business online.
Well, awesome. I am absolutely honored to be here, and I just want to thank both you, Aurore and Lydia, for inviting me. This is so much fun, and so thank you.
You're welcome.
And what an awesome introduction. I know, it's so cool. We were talking just before we went on live here how amazing it is to finally get to meet people in real life. And even on a hangout, it's much different than just seeing faces out there on the internet. And that for me has been transformational, because I realize this is a community of real people who are just amazing people with integrity and goals and families and all of that. So I'm just blessed to be here. So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I'm a mom, and that's not funny, but I am a mom. And I was looking at my notes. I wrote down a few things today, and so this is the back of a receipt. If that tells you
what we do,
right? So that's how I'm gonna start. I'm gonna say this is real life, and the cool thing is that exactly, Aurora. But this is how it is, and the coolest thing is my kids were home from school today, and which kind of caught me off guard. I mean, when I work from home, you know, holidays and days off sort of all run together, and I forgot, and suddenly they're at home, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. But we went for a bike ride, and we went to the park, and we did some amazing things together as a family, and yet I can still hang out and chat with you guys and work and help people, and so I'm super blessed to be able to do that. A little bit more about myself. I mean, I actually began network marketing. Now I'm hearing a little bit of typing feedback. Is that you, Lydia?
Yeah, I'm responding to somebody that's on or watching us. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing something wrong here. But I actually am a trained clinical psychologist. And I know, now I don't say that very much because people say, oh, now I don't want to say anything because she's analyzing me, which really isn't how I view people. But you know, I started out really kind of, I guess, living what I thought would be, quote unquote, the American dream. You know, going to school. In my family, what was accepted was to get an education, to get a higher degree, and to be able to support yourself. I mean, that was really kind of the push. And any thinking outside the box, no matter if it was being an entrepreneur or being involved in anything that was risky, I guess, was not encouraged. And so I did that route. I found somebody to marry who also was on that same path, and that was kind of what we did. And we both became professionals and started our careers. And, you know, through the course of our life, we discovered that all of those things that are promised to you, this, you know, easy life because you have a job, just weren't panning out. And yet we had invested so much of our time and money into our education that we just kept thinking that this is how it was supposed to be. And getting ourselves deeper and deeper in debt. Part of the struggle that we dealt with, my husband and I, is a tremendous student loan debt. And I know that, you know, we're not alone in that. People have debts for all kinds of reasons, whether it's their home or just credit card spending. Student loans are just suffocating people these days, and it's really becoming a crisis. And we ended up in that boat, and we couldn't make enough money to pay back our debt and live our life and have children. And so, you know, you kind of spiral. We just spiraled down into a place of despair. And I know there's, you know, Aurora, you're saying, yeah, you can relate to that feeling, I'm sure. We don't all have the same details of our story, but what I've discovered through this is that we all have very similar life experiences emotionally. So I came to that place of just, there's no way out. I don't have any alternatives. I don't have control over my own life. I don't have control over tomorrow. And I realized suddenly that a career doesn't give you stability. And so that's really when I turned to internet marketing. It kind of fell in my lap. Wasn't really looking for it. It found me. And I actually was quite prejudiced against it, I would say. I'd known lots of people involved, and I'd had some experience in the past where I'd been burned. And I thought, I will never, ever, 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 ever do this. And I was pretty adamant about that. And I was very, very fortunate early on to run across MLSP. And that's what changed everything for me. And I realized that this was a community of people that was different. And it didn't take very long to realize that. And so that's when I started feeling hopeful for the first time in many, 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 many years. And I realized that these people were here to help other people. I mean, truly, really. And that I didn't have to worry about this whole scam thing, you know, and it was just a tremendous relief. And I remember sitting on the couch, because I had really gone into a place of pretty dark place, depression, I would say, and I just didn't know which way to turn. I didn't want to go back to work full time, as I have 2 kids. And we had just moved. We picked up and moved a year and a half ago across the country. And so I didn't know anyone. And I felt like I needed to be there for my children. I made this decision early in my life to have children. And I'm their mother. And I just knew after having my first child that although I had this degree and this career that I could go to, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. And so we moved here. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, which is an amazing place to live. But I felt very much alone, and that I could not go back to work and leave somebody else to raise my kids again. And so I was in this really dark place, and I really spent every day on the couch, sitting there, not being productive at all. And being very discouraged. And I'll never forget the day, it's a very emotional, you know, day that I sat there and I said to myself, when I discovered this MLSP was out there, I said, you know, I can keep sitting here every day doing nothing, or I can sit here and try something. And I just said, I don't have nothing to lose. I mean, our next step is going to be, you know, bankruptcy, because we just are barely making it month to month. And here, we were professionals. So I know that, I mean, like, people, it's a really awkward thing. Like, you don't talk about that to people because, you know, they expect, you know, well, you have a doctorate, so you must be doing great. And the reality of life is just not that way, but we don't want to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I found this group of people that I could reach out to and be real with and say, like, this is really my struggle, and give me hope and encouragement. And I thought, oh, I can't do that. I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know anything about computers except for sending emails and seeing what's going on Facebook. So that's it, you know. And I was very intimidated by it at first, you know, to be honest. But it was a transformational day when I discovered that I could reach out across the world and connect with people who had the same goals as me. So that's, in a nutshell, how I started and how I ended up here. I did have a primary MLM company that I was mostly a part of because I enjoyed it myself. And so I very quickly learned, though, after joining MLSP, that what I loved to do was helping other people with their businesses. So my main focus really is with MLSP, as opposed to my MLM. So that's my direction. And so I don't know if you guys want to, like, pop in. Is there anything you wanted to say, or should I just keep going?
Well, that's great, and thank you for sharing that. And in case anyone who's watching didn't hear, Jennifer's full name is Jennifer Lickey, and you can find her on Facebook. And I identify, I don't know if you're aware, but Aurore and I are we have a human service background also. We've both worked in prisons. I'm a certified, nationally and internationally certified substance abuse counselor, clinical supervisor, training others to get certified, and I do some independent consulting now. And I can tell you, my master's in psychology is not going to pay my student loans.
No.
It's not going to get me out of debt. And I, you know, I always hustled for fun, doing different things, and that's how I ended up being on the internet. wasn't thinking about being an internet marketer. I started out going online because I was wholesaling and selling through eBay and things, but I was hooked to the internet, so I researched, and I believed what they said, that I could make money ASAP, you know. So I wasted time. I'm a recovering shiny object addict. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm in recovery, and I went from this to that because I knew that they said I could do this. So even though this person would rope me in and know you couldn't get it quick, the money, I said, well, they said on the internet don't lie. Somebody on there gonna show me. So I went through a few years of going through. But one thing I'm grateful about, because of work that I've done on myself in my life, I will stop and self-assess, and I guess it comes with in the world of learning how to counsel other people.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to walk the walk. So I never blame my sponsors. I never blame the businesses. I recognize those who were truly spammers and scammers. But regardless of whatever it was I got involved with, I knew if my failure in it was my failure in it. You know, I didn't stick and stay long enough to even prove that it was wrong. But I did learn a lot about what type of business person I wanted to be. I wanted to role model for others. I wanted to save people some time. And I also learned you can't rescue people, because some people, when they have the addiction of shiny object, whatever they say, this is the route they're going to go until pain becomes the motivator.
Yeah.
And so things did get better for me. But the reality of it is I aspire and desire other things that a job can't do for me. And I love the field of alcohol and substance abuse. I do. I have a whole blog dedicated to it. At one point, I struggled with, do I have to forget all of that to learn all this other stuff? And I felt conflicted. I didn't even realize that addiction could become a moneymaker for me. And it did, you know, but that's when you continue to educate yourself and learning about niche marketing, you know. But it took me a while to even get there with that, because I was so upset that I wasn't making enough money from my degree. It took me 6 years to get, and I just wanted to throw it away and do something else. But I did learn that when you grow, when you set your mind that you're going to grow and you want to get this right, you will, personally, you'll develop, you'll cultivate, and you'll learn how to blend your own knowledge instead of looking for everything on the outside, you know. Aurore and I met, was it early this year? Last year, right, Aurore? Yeah, December, because we started Mastermind Fever Group. Yeah. And I was attracted to her. First of all, I love her accent. So, but then her accent is what made me follow what she does. And I started watching her go on her blog and everything. And I play her videos just to hear her accent. That's one of my favorite accents in the world, from the UK.
Thank you.
Talk about attraction marketing, right?
See, now, Lydia, I think I'm like, these people with these cool accents have a totally unfair advantage. They do.
It's the truth.
I think I gotta get some like shtick, because
that's right, definitely. But that's attraction marketing.
You're totally right.
After some point, I started listening to actually what she was saying, versus just listening to the tone and the harmonious, like it's like singing to me. And I was like, wow, if I could talk like that, you know. That sounds real weird, right? But you know, let me segue into Diane Hockman. I just want to tell y'all a little story, and I shared it with Diane Hockman. I got to know Diane Hockman online on a network called Ning about 5 years ago. And she would say these phenomenal things, and I wasn't ready, but I knew she made sense. This is a smart woman. She's going to be around a long time. That's what I told my dumb self, right? I had to, because I wasn't following anything she said, but I knew she made sense, right? You know, it's like reading a self-help book. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good, but you don't do anything.
Not for me.
So she started talking about a lot about personal development and going out and showing up as a leader and stop whining and crying and go present yourself to other people. I've taught you some things, you learned some things, now go share with somebody else. As soon as she said that, I was like, I just want to learn something for me. I'm not ready to go talk to other people. I don't want to do that. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. And she said, people who won't listen to me, they're going to go try to get rich quick, they're going to try this and that, and they'll be back. Now, they may not come back to me, but they're going to find somebody who's true like me, and they're going to come back because they're going to get burned enough times. Well, I decided I got sick of hearing her say this every week, so I left, and I got burned. But her words haunted me, and I knew when I found her in MLSP, when I saw her in MLSP, I said, that's that lady. I said, if I ever see her in person, because her voice, her name, her face for 5 years haunted me.
Wow.
I never forgot what she said. And I proved her right because I kept running and running and running. And I knew if I ever saw her in person, I was going to walk up to her and tell her how she haunted me for 5 years. And I did it, lived the dream. I went up and told her. She said, you know what, I know you. She saw me ghosting around, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That lady has phenomenal memory, I got to tell you. And that's why it was so important to me when I got to live the dream to do something different, y'all. I've grown a lot on my own because I made a decision of what I need to do.
Yeah.
I learned a lot being a mastermind partner with Aurore and practicing what we preach by being the co-founders of the Mastermind Fever group, because you want to show up and you want to share and teach. I believe in each one, teach one. But once you grow, then you feel yourself, you got to grow some more. You want to grow some more. You get to a point where, okay, I know all of this. Now there's another piece. It keeps going, you know. And talking to people and interviewing people still wasn't my stick. But I knew by the time I got on that plane that I was not going to come home having not met a bunch of people and went up to leaders and got my interviews, because several years ago I could walk, a couple of years ago, I could walk in a room with 300 people at an event, sit in my chair, take my notes, and leave, and wouldn't even give a darn that I didn't meet one person. Mm-hmm. And I'd be fine. I wouldn't be sorry. I'd be so glad you didn't talk to me and didn't ask me anything, mm-hmm. and I just go. And I closed my eyes on that plane and I said, imagine what it would feel like if I went into 2014 in the same place I am, and I'm in a good place, but I see better, right? Mm-hmm. What would I feel like if I spent all that money and didn't get the most out of it, right?
Yeah, waste.
And I felt miserable. I'm on the plane imagining this, and it overwhelmed me from head to toe. I could feel what it would feel like, and it felt miserable. And I said, now, Lydia, you feel like that right now, but you don't have to feel like that for months. So when I get there and do what I'm supposed to do, I don't have to go home with any regrets. Mm-hmm. Because if I really go there and not step up to the plate, I would feel that miserable feeling for months on end. Mm-hmm. And it would hurt me emotionally as a person and financially. Mm-hmm. So I went there, and I was so glad when Jennifer, Lickey, and I got up together. We shared a little bit about this was going to be some big girl stuff. We said, we got to put the big girl panties on now. and like, let's help each other. And it was so, yeah. we said, we'll hold the video camera and we'll do this. But you know what? We were so at it that we kept missing each other, and we did our interviews anyway, didn't we, Jennifer?
That's right. That's right. We did.
We did anyway.
It was amazing. I mean, it was truly, I was so inspired to meet you and other people that were so driven to make changes in their life and follow mm-hmm. through with these hard things that, yeah, we did. We kept missing each other, and we did it anyway, and we kept finding each other. How many videos did you do? What did you do? And it was so exciting to be in that environment, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right, right. And, you know, it was great to know that we're not unique. There are other people that have the fear. The difference you want is to step outside of the fear, and it felt like a natural high, didn't it, Jennifer?
It absolutely did, and that reminds me of something I heard there, which was leaders feel fear and do it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Jeffries, yeah. Susan Jeffries, yeah.
So, I mean, every one of the presenters and the panels of people, they all feel fear, and they're all not good at everything.
Yes.
And that's so encouraging and important, I think, for me to feel and also to share with other people. You don't have to be good at everything, but you have to try, and you have to walk through your fear, and you've got to develop the things that you are good at. And that is one thing I kept hearing as well, is do what you already know how to do. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean not to push yourself. You know, like Lydia and I pushed ourselves with interviews, but because that's where we were ready to go at that point. But we're still doing the other things that we know how to do.
Absolutely.
And it was a huge shot in the arm.
Exactly. What was it like when you interviewed people at No Excuses, Aurora?
Sorry?
When you introduced yourself to the leaders at the No Excuses Summit, what was it like for you?
It was quite an interesting event, actually, going there, because in my mind, when I joined MLSP, I could hear all those people saying, you need to attend live events. Live events are going to change your life. Live events, live events, live events. I'm like, great, guys. I am in the UK. There is no way that I'm going to fly all over across the world to see you. And the more I could see some people who had no previous knowledge of online marketing and were doing well, I thought, okay, if I want to be like them, I need to copy what they are doing. So if they've got a blog, I need to have a blog. If they make videos, I need to make videos. If they say that attending live events is going to change your life, I have to do it. Because for so many times I actually try to stop myself thinking, but why are you pushing yourself like this? Why do you want to strive? I mean, I was working as a maths teacher in prison. I was earning good money. It was very exciting to work with the clients, as we used to call them, the clients. But I really had this fire in my belly to do something else out of my life. And as you said, Jennifer, you know, when you were feeling low and down and you thought that that was the end, there was nothing else to expect about life. And it's exactly how I thought as well, thinking, well, this is it now, you know, and I've tried so many MLMs and it's not working, and what's next? I can do all this, talking to friends and family members, and eventually when I came across MLSP, it was like a breath of fresh air. I could really see people having some amazing results, amazing success, and I had faith again that I could do it myself. And so when they said you need to attend live events, I said, do what the leaders say you need to do. So I attended my first live event. I was meant to have all the money ready, everything, and just, you know, some complications came up, you know, with my bank account, no money. So I thought, I'm not going to attend. I won't be able to meet the people I wanted to meet. But in my mind, because I planned it for such a long time, I was going. So instead of saying, I can't, I said, how am I going to make it happen? Which meant finding about $1,000 for my airfare, finding another $1,000. No, actually, yeah, finding some money for the hotel, for the food, and at the time there was a contest to win a ticket to go to the No Excuses Summit. So I thought, yeah, why not? Before I would have thought, well, you know, so many people will be competing. Why me? Why should I try? There is no point. Somebody else is going to win. Why should I even try? And when I thought, why not? I only have one life. I need to try. I need to see what is going to happen. If I don't try, I would never know. So I went on my mission to make a video. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I looked really tired. So I armed myself with my foundation and makeup, and I did my hair, and I looked alive again. So I did my video. The idea was to have as many likes as possible on Facebook to my video, and I came second out of 10 people who were able to win a ticket to attend the event. The event was called No Excuses Summit, and that was like haunting me pretty much every day. Like, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You don't have an excuse. And if you don't do it, what's next? Okay, I do it. Right, the money for the plane. I can't do it. Yes, you can. You don't have an excuse. Just go for it. Okay. So I found myself flying for 19 hours to arrive there. And once I got there, I thought, I am on the mission. My mom was this wonderful angel who sent me money to go there. And I could feel that there was something just amazing which was going to happen. So I flew there for 19 hours, and I felt a bit, shy to see all those people that I would see online. But I thought, you don't have the time, girl, to be shy. There is no time. You spend 19 hours on the flight. You spend about $2,000 to get there. You don't have the time. You need to do the job. I said, God, please help me. And it was just amazing, as you said, Lydia, and as you said, Jennifer, to see that the people that you meet online, meeting them in the flesh and talking to them and laughing together and sharing experiences and excitement. And to me, that event just created so many breakthroughs in my mind, in my life. So if I had to do it again, I would do it again anytime. I can't wait to be next year, 2014. I've got 2 meetings. I've got the No Excuses Summit, and I've got Live the Dream. And I'm just waiting. Like, come on, come on.
Exactly.
Because so many lives have been changed, and I know that more things is going to happen. And just to finish on that note, what was so powerful about this event is that it not only blessed my life, but it blessed my husband's life. How? Well, before he would have never said, what? He would have said, what, going to a live event in the US? Do you know how much it would cost? And do you know about this? And do you know about that? But he was like, yeah, wow, you won a ticket to the No Excuses Summit? Let's find your plane ticket right now. So how are we going to make it happen? Very positive. But when I came back, actually, this is what happened. Because I met a lady there who was from the UK, who was by herself, somebody who knew that I was from the UK, actually from Paris, but anyway, knew I lived in the UK. He said, oh, you need to connect with this lady. She's from the UK. So we get connected together, and eventually, when we come back from the UK, we met, let me do it again, Bill Walsh. I don't know if anybody knows Bill Walsh, who is a multimillionaire. Oh, we've got Patricia coming.
Hey, Patricia.
And Bill Walsh was very successful. He did a presentation absolutely mesmerizing. And it so happened that Bill Walsh came to the UK. So when he came to the UK, a friend of mine contacted me, that lady that I met at the No Excuses, and said, Bill Walsh is in London, you need to come. And I never knew that he would be in London. So I go to London with my husband, and eventually he has this great seminar taking place, and I meet a guy who is a millionaire that I came across probably about 5 years ago, but I thought, how can you be a millionaire with, a tracksuit bottom, and, you wear a kind of funky hat, you look like, a hooligan. What is that? And he happened to be very successful. I took some pictures with him, and it was great to meet him. My husband is really not into the high five and power. Yeah, this is wonderful. Hey, hello everybody. All the American stuff, he cannot stand it. My husband is English. But when we came across that guy, that millionaire who was into properties, well, this same guy said if the first 10 people to rush toward the back of the stage who filling a form will have access to a free entry to a boot camp, which was worth $3,000. So we just started running, filling in the form, and then once we filled in the forms, we went to that event, boot camp in property, and my husband was really not into high five, you are well, dragon, you can do it. Yeah. He came out the event absolutely transformed. Wow. He actually embraced everything which was taught there, and up to now he's actually working with them as a sound engineer. And all of that is because of the No Excuses Summit.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
Amazing. So it has blessed my life, it has blessed his life, and I'm telling you people, you really need to experience that because you don't know what you're going to find. That's the thing. You don't know what you're going to find, but if you got the right mindset and you know that you are on a mission to change your life, so exciting. I just can't wait. And you meet some amazing people.
That's exciting news. Hey everybody, we have Patricia Sweeney Moore has joined us. This is an awesome lady. I got to meet a person that lived the dream in San Diego, and she's all over MLSP. She's going to share some interesting stuff with us. Bert is your mastermind partner, huh? I get that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
sure
they're amazing. He's a nice gentleman. I got to meet him too. So we've been sharing about our experiences at live events. Aurora went to No Excuses, and Jennifer and I, as well as you, attended Live the Dream. And any takeaways? What are you going to be doing the rest of the year? What inspired you at the live event, and what's going on as you segue into 2014?
Well, it's funny. My husband and I were literally just discussing our event schedule for next year. You know, and I think that, you know, once you've attended one and you meet all the people and you kind of just absorbs a little bit of that energy, you know, you just have to, if you're taking this seriously, like Aurora said, if you're really wanting to change your life, I think that you have to commit to getting to the events. And so, you know, instead of me sitting down making a plan around, you know, everything else in our life, you know, obviously we have birthdays and we have wedding anniversaries, and we have all that stuff, you know, but it's on the calendar is like, okay, well, I believe this is the weekend that NES is happening, and I believe this is the weekend that the MLSP Mastermind is happening, and I believe this is the weekend in October 2014 that LTD5 is happening, you know, because you schedule the things that are important to you. And you know, and this is it, right? A lot of people, I know even in the group, they were waiting until the very last minute, which was awesome that people did that and still showed up. But I think if we as a community really help everyone focus, and we keep sharing these stories just like we're doing tonight about how important it is and how transformational it was, then maybe they'll put it on their calendar too. Yeah. You know, like I think as a community, that should be our mission, is to help get everyone to the event so they can experience what we have in person, because they're here, but you know how many people are here but they're not really participating, you know, for whatever reason.
Yeah. And you know, Patricia, I mean, what you're saying really just triggered something that I heard at LTD a lot, but have heard and believe strongly that has changed the way I make decisions about the future and about business, whether it's a live event or what, is make decisions based on where you want to be.
That's right.
6 months from now or a year from now, and not based on where you are today. Because if I kept making decisions based on where I was, sitting on my couch, being all depressed, or, you know, sitting there wondering how come nobody would sign up for my business and how come no one would listen to me. I mean, if really I had made decisions out of that place, I wouldn't be here today. Yeah, so I think what you're saying is really important. Think about where you want to be. What do successful people do? Yeah. You know, who do they hang out with? And yeah, you'll get there.
That's true. I made my decision to attend Live the Dream 4 the day after Live the Dream 3 ended because I couldn't get to that one. So I just told myself right then and there, I'm doing it. I wrote it down on a Post-it, hung it up, and planned to slowly siphon money and put it away. Told my husband what I was doing it. Now, it just so happens I had gotten a big contract at the beginning of this year, and I just took the first 2 checks from that and just threw it there. And all I was waiting was to hit the button. Soon as they would announce it, I was going to hit the button. There I go. But I made that decision a year ago. And now I have it written on my board here, Live the Dream 5 and No Excuses. It's a done deal. It's on the calendar. It's what I have to do. And Diane Hockman had mentioned at Live the Dream 4, she says, say I can, I will. And that goes with anything that you can do. Just say I can, I will. I'll tell you one thing I did, and this might sound crazy to some people, but when you know you're going to do something and you must do something, you got to do it. When they announced the leadership program and we had that deadline to sign up, I was like, no, wait a minute. I don't have half of what I need, but the deadline's tonight. I just started calling my husband. I was calling my mother. Send some money. Go transfer money. Hit the bank 9 o'clock in the morning. The deadline's tonight. And then I said, but wait a minute. If they go now, the timelines, the money might not show up. They said the deadline. Then they said the deadline could be tomorrow. What I did was I went up to the lady and I said, look, I got to do this. It's going to cost me more not to do it. I want to put my paperwork through. But instead of processing it tonight, can you process tomorrow? So I got an okay for that, right? But then the largest chunk of the money I realized wasn't going to hit till Wednesday. So then I started thinking about the money I had that I had to spend to go back home, and then the next day, you know, food and all that stuff. I'm still at one event. And I was like, I don't have to eat. I'm a big girl. My body will feed off all this fat. I'll be in good standing. I said, and I was sitting in the hotel room. I was serious. And then I looked at all the clothes I brought, and I thought about, I don't really have to take this home and pay $25 to put this big suitcase on that scale. Let me see what I could live with, leaving behind, roll it up in this other bag that I could carry on. That's $25 saved. Right? I was going there. I said any lengths. I'm making it happen. And then what I did, I went up to Brian Finale. I pulled him aside. I said, can I talk to you? I said, I need to do this, and you have a deadline. But I don't think my money's going to register in that account, and my family's done everything now. Talk to me. I said, I'm not asking for a handout. Can you give me some time before you do the little ching-ching thing with me? It took a lot for me to go up to that man and ask him. Yeah. It really did. But I knew, my gut told me, the only way you're going to get this done is to go after it. You know, like that girl in that Burlington commercial, she said, I'm a go-getter. I go get it and I bring it back. I was in that mode. And I went right up there and he said, see me at the break. I was right in front of him with the break. I was like, I'm going to do what I have to do. So I ended up being able to bring all my luggage home. And then, you know, I thought about it. I ate a $30 hamburger the night before, y'all. You know, I was so grateful it tastes good, but that was unbelievable. A $30 hamburger, some French fries, right?
You must have got the room service.
Yeah, San Diego's a hot mess when it comes to. But the thing is that when you make a decision about what you want, you'd be surprised how you could make it happen. You really can surprise yourself how creative your thinking could be, and it all worked. And it all worked out. You know, I believe in a high power. My high power was God. When they announced that they're going to do the 5 payments, I was like, "Thank you, God." I said, "Thank you." I did my part, and the rest was taken care of by God and Brian Finale. You know, and because the other choice would have been to just sit there and feel sorry for myself.
And it's not productive. You don't do anything. You don't change your life. You don't change the lives of people around you. You have to take action. You have to.
And I wouldn't have felt bad if it didn't work out, as long as I knew that I tried. I went and spoke to the people I need to speak to. If I knew I could go home and say I did the best that I could do, that would have meant so much. You know, and I still had it in my mind. If I got home, I was going to send an email, contact Brian on Facebook. I was going to still try to get it. I wasn't giving up because the cost is too high to keep moving. Then, you know, if I don't do what I got to do to keep moving forward. And I see all the action takers in Facebook, and I just say, blessings to us all. I hope everybody keeps that momentum. I've been on like a caffeine rush, it seemed like, since Live the Dream.
I see too many of you being like that. I'm like, what happened there?
You know, when I do go lay down, I get right back up in an hour. I just have a list that if I'm in it, go do it. I'm not putting anything off, you know. And I'm taking care of myself, but it's a good mode because I'm very happy. I'm thrilled. And I could see me on the other side. Ladies, can you see yourself on the other side?
Yeah.
Can you see it and feel it? You can see it. I'm an L5. I don't know about the rest in the world, but I'm an L5 and better. If I strive for that, is, you know, you never know. That's the way it is. Yeah. And if you look back when you've achieved some other things in life, you were in it. You could smell it. You could sense it. You could visualize it.
Well,
and
Lydia,
you got there.
One thing that you're saying is, boy, there's a little bit of a delay. I don't want to cut anybody off here. Am I okay?
Yeah, you're good.
But successful people focus on their goals, and unsuccessful people focus on their circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, there's a formula. There's, and I think that, you know, one thing that it may be because of my background and my training, I think this is important, but after being with the community as a whole and hearing the stories over and over, I don't think that you can underestimate for one moment your mindset. And it is one thing that we just don't talk enough about, or we do in MLSP, but I mean out there in the world of marketing, which I think is why so many people give up and are so discouraged, because they believe that if they just learned the right techniques and they have the right tools, they're gonna be rich and famous. And I mean, it doesn't matter, you guys. I mean, I know you all have the same tools as I do, but if you don't do what Lydia was talking about and Aurora and I mean, we all have these stories that are similar about doing whatever you have to do to make your dreams come true. You won't get there. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know.
Oh,
well,
she froze out.
Yeah, you froze us a little bit.
Froze out.
Well, I'll add something.
That's why you're a leader, you know.
That's right. I like what Lydia said, and you, Jennifer. I mean, you know, but this is something we talked about in our mastermind. You know, your success. Most people, when they look at their business and when they think about their business, it's a conceptual thing. Success to them is conceptual, meaning it's just a concept in their mind that, well, when I hit it big, right? When I do this, when I'm making $10,000 a month, like that's sort of the goal. Like that's how people think about their business success. And you know, you can't do that. So focusing on something like earning enough money in your business over the next 10 months to actually earn enough to pay your way to live the dream is going to allow you to focus on the microcosm of the profit and loss, right, of your business. So that's like, what is it going to maybe be $2,000 maybe, like between your tickets and then your airfare and the money that you spend to get there, and it's, you know, if you share a room, maybe a little bit less, maybe 2,500 tops. Even that's even with VIP. So if we were to help the community set a goal, hey guys, make sure you make at least this in your business over the next 10 months. And so you would only actually have to earn, what, like $200? Or I don't know, help me with the math there, ladies, like maybe 300?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 300 a month, right? Right, like, where's my calculator? But like $300. You know, well, $300 a month. Just earn an extra $300 a month over the next 10 months, and that would pay for your Live the Dream ticket, which then you will be able to immerse yourself in that transformational experience, or meet that millionaire who's going to, you know, that's going to be your JV partner for your husband, and it's going to change his life and your life and the lives around you. You know, you just don't know until you're there, you know, because you're going to miss all the shots you never take, you know, and so if every single person and every single leader tells us the same thing, get to live events, you got to be at live events, you got to be there, you got to be there, you got to be there, then we have to keep preaching that to everyone else. And if we say, look, you need $3,000, guys, let's focus on you making $300 a month. How many people can legitimately say they're making $300 a month? Because they're so worried about making $10,000 a month, they're not even focused on the little tiny steps it takes to get to $300. And the fact of the matter is if you can get that down, if you can get $300 a month down, and you learn that skill set and you can repeat it for more than 1 month, then you can ramp up whatever you're doing that's working and take that $300 to $3,000 a month and $6,000 a month, and that's how you get to $10,000 a month. And I think that's the disconnect. Right? Like Jennifer said, you're not just going to be rich and famous. You get this one tool. It's focusing on the small things, and that's part of that mindset that's so important.
There was a young lady I spoke to the other day about going to live events, and she was talking about the cost, and she's got to buy clothes, and I was like, hold up, clothes? I said, you go to work every day. We've never seen your clothes. We haven't. None of these people seen you before. That's ego. Don't let your ego get in the way. Wear the clothes you got in your closet. You work in the office.
That's right.
Where it's office casual. That will be fine. That's your ego about to block you from going to an event.
Lydia.
Huh? What?
If we really packed for these events the way that we work, we'd all be wearing our pajamas.
I know, right?
We would. I'm telling you. Wasn't it Diane?
You wouldn't be bringing any makeup.
I know.
No high-heeled shoes.
I put on makeup for the webinars.
Maybe we need.
But you know, wasn't it Diane Hockman that said?
Yeah.
She did like this. The problem isn't what you think it is, and she put up here. It's the mindset. When you get out your own way, you can accomplish some things. You and your business will move on. But it's so true, and I've been there. I can identify when people mention personal development. I was like, what? Okay, I don't have a webinar tonight. I'm like, okay, they do a personal development. I don't need that, you know.
Yeah. I think that's the way a lot of people react. You know, like it's boring. You know, it's like, when are you going to get to the good stuff? You know, I get
well, for
that.
some people, it's scary too.
It's scary. You're
because
right.
They'll hear something that requires them to take some tests, look at themselves, and you know, in order to grow, you got to admit some things that you're doing wrong, and you might find that it's not only impacting your business, but also your personal life, because wherever you go, you take you with you. So for some people, they're scared of taking a look at themselves, period, and they run. And they have to get the same results over and over. And when the pain outweighs doing the same thing over and over, some change and some make a decision to just give up and continue to suffer and just wish.
Because there is actually something quite powerful in doing self-development, and even if it's not like tangible, like making a video or writing a blog post, but there is something which is like underneath that you can't see with your, I mean, you can't see as you would see a video, but people can feel it and see it coming out of you. You're actually living it. So if you're like, hi, you can make money online. It's possible. Who is going to believe you? When the whole thing is being able to believe in what you're saying, in what you're saying, and people having faith that what you're saying is true, it works, and if it works for you, it is going to work for them. And this belief has to be inside you. Millionaires are not necessarily like shy people and hiding away. You need to have this charisma, this presence, and people have to be willing to follow you. So self-development is so important because it's what brings the magic together. You need to have that, or you don't have anything. Somebody can make like some, rubbish videos, and somebody can make some great videos because you've got some great funky stuff all around. But if you don't have any faith behind it, if you don't have any substance or power, your marketing is dead.
Yeah.
So your Facebook
people can feel it. People, like you said, they can feel it.
They can feel it. It's so important. So being just like surrounded by people like that, it just changes your mindset completely. Sorry, Patricia.
Oh no, you're good.
Well, and I was thinking what you were saying just now, how well that plays into, we hear the term attraction marketing, and we all know what it is, but a lot of people out there don't. They don't understand what does this mean or how does it work. And I think what you've just described is a big piece of that. That when I was reflecting on what I might share about tonight, I was thinking about how much we tend to overcomplicate things and how important it is to make it simple. And being simple is just being you. You don't have to have this wonderful, fabulous presentation all done up. I mean, you saw me, like my notes are on a receipt. I mean, they're totally disorganized, but I know that I can be me. I mean, I'm me, I'm real, and I want people to know me. And when people know you and they feel you, they want to work with you. It has nothing to do with what you're selling or what you represent necessarily. They just know that whatever you've got is what they want because it's working for you. And, that takes a lot of personal development and belief in yourself and courage to walk through those scary times, and trying these things that you've never done before. And being honest about that. I mean, there's been times when I've shared with people, I'm like, look, I have no idea. They'll ask me, I'm like, I have no clue. But what I'm doing over here is working really well for me. I mean, maybe I'll learn this part someday, but right now I really have no clue. But I can find out.
And that is attractive because it means that anybody can do it. That is attractive. Yeah.
Right. They're like, oh, well, maybe I wouldn't have to know everything too. That's cool. Like, she's successful and doesn't have all the answers. Oh, that's cool. So we put so much pressure on ourselves. So I was just going to say that, keeping it simple. Like, let people know you and who you are, and that's the most attractive thing in the world, because you go out there on the internet and there's all these presentations and all this weirdness and all this stuff, and you're just like, who do I believe?
Yeah, and it is quite interesting to see that even if there is like so much noise online, but you can always find your match. So people might believe that you have to be a big guru, so then people are going to follow you. But some people can just follow you because you're taking it easy. You've got some papers on your table, and well, here we go. This is my presentation. Is it that simple? And it works. So they can do it. They can follow you. You are having success, and it is much simpler than people think it is. Like when we started the Mastermind Fever group, we didn't think, okay, we are going to turn into a big organization. We are going to have 100 people in our team. No, what we thought is we are seeing people struggling, we are working well together as mastermind partners, so why not bringing all these people together to learn from one another, to grow, to help each other, and have fun, you know, making money online. And this is what happened. So now we've got people asking to join and people who are looking for a mastermind partner. And not that we were experts in what we were doing. Obviously, I mean, we are working on what we're doing, but we are not pretending to be like ultra famous, but it's not the problem. What you want to do is be able to help somebody else who is in need. Just doing that is showing that you are a leader. What else do you need? And I thought,
no, that's it. I know, like, she just got super passionate. I love that, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's great. Well, you know, and I think the thing that both of you ladies are talking about, it's, you know, it's vision. People, I think Diane said from stage, she said, the people will perish without a vision.
Straight from the Bible.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, if you don't have a vision that's large enough that it's pulling you into the direction that you're going to go, find it, build it, craft it, own it, live it, speak it, act it. And when you do that, the people will follow because the people want a vision. And that's what's attractive. It doesn't matter if you don't know everything, like Jennifer said, but I'm doing this thing and it's working, so come on, let's do it, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's what's powerful, I think, about, you know, what even a brand new person can do online. So, like, I know, I mean, like, for me, you guys, I don't know if y'all had already talked about this. I'm sorry, my son has asthma, so he was, like, taking his breathing treatment. It's so loud. So we had to wait till he was done with that before I got on. But the thing that I'm going to do coming out of Live the Dream is I was already doing webinars, but I wasn't doing them with intention. Right? Like, I was doing them, and I'm like, I'm going to share and I'm going to teach, and maybe I'll sell some products. That'd be great. You know, so it was more like, la-di-da, blase. I'm sorry, right? Like, if Steve Jaffe can sell 10 grand on a webinar, this girl right here can do it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, and it's just because when he goes into it, that is his intention from start to finish. So, like, leading up to and following, like, the entire, like, it's a whole event, right? Like, he's treating his webinars like a live event, you know what I mean? And he's getting people there, and he's really expressing upon them the urgency of the life-changing whatever that this thing that he has is. Like, it is the transformational thing that you require in your life. And so when you really treat it that way, and if you own that thought, then it's not really hard to get, I don't want to say aggressive, but I want to say intentional. Right, with what you're doing. It might be a little bit aggressive, but it's okay.
But that goes along with the concept that we all know, where you laser focus in on one thing. So, you know, I mean, there are 1,000 marketing methods out there, and they all work, except for spamming.
Right, not that.
Exactly.
Let's not do that. We want to encourage that. But, you know, there's all these really legitimate, great things that work. So what you're saying is, I mean, pick something and go with it. I mean, just do it with intention and with purpose and with passion, and let who you are shine through. I mean, just hearing you talk about that, Patricia, I was like, sign me up, you know, because
let's do it.
You know? Yeah, because it's exciting, and it's so cool to be a part of a community that encourages each other that way.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I know that's me. I mean, like, I think that for me, I'm not really necessarily saying, oh, well, I have to have a $10,000 webinar.
Right.
But I definitely think that it's, you know, why not by this summer? Because if I could get a $10,000 webinar in by this summer, I can afford to put my 2 boys back in private school. Yeah. It's a big deal.
But those are the things that motivate you, and that's, like, I mean, nobody can put a number on that. Yeah. You know, I always say, you know, find your why until it makes you cry, and you know, that's where you get stuff done.
And that's
exactly
true. Well, you know why? Because then you're not scared, right? Like, because the reason that you're doing this thing is so much larger than any, like, mental hang-ups and, like, nervousness and, well, what if it doesn't work out right, or what if I don't know how to push the right button, and what if I don't say the right thing, and what if this and what if that? Like, you don't even give a crap anymore. Like, all of that's just gone the minute you find a reason to be successful in the intention that you set forth and to actually reach that goal. But that's powerful. I think when you do it, it inspires thousands of people to do the same thing. Like, you don't even know how impactful that is to other people. So, because I'm pretty sure that Steve Jaffe, like, we talked at one of, like, the VIP after parties, and he was, like, a little nervous. He was like, well, was it okay? And was it, you know, because that was his first time on stage.
Right.
But it was awesome because he was so pumped about what he had done, and he was so excited to share it, and it had worked so well, and he knew it, and he was like trying to like shake the whole audience, like, don't you understand? You know?
Right.
But it was awesome though, because everybody in the audience was like, holy crap, you gotta do webinars. And you know, but it was cool because, you know, even it was really, really cool seeing him after, like, well, did that work out okay? But he didn't even care because he just went for it. And that was inspiring to me. I'm like, okay, just let it go and just go for it. Because what's the outcome? Yeah, like, you know, what's the downside of it? That you might, oh, well, instead of a $10,000 webinar, I might do a $5,000 webinar. Oh, poo.
The only guarantee is that if you don't do it, you're not making any money. That's a given.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So just go for it.
Now, I know that there are a few people probably tuning in right now who are like freaking out hearing us say that, like, webinar, like, you know. And so I don't know. I mean, I guess what I wanted to ask you guys is, you know, if you were talking to somebody brand new, you know, who was just like, I want to do this thing, but don't ask me to do a webinar, what would you say, you know, is the first place to go? I mean, and I'll start with me. I mean, there's so many easy things that people can do that they don't realize. And I mean, of course, one of them is social media and Facebook, and everybody's on Facebook. But the trick, you know, for people would be to, of course, learn how to use Facebook in a user-friendly way, you know, where you're attracting people to you. Right, and you only see spam most of the time on Facebook these days, at least when it comes to marketing. And so I was just going to share, you know, a couple of things that I've done on Facebook that has helped grow my business that maybe somebody out there who's listening can identify with, because chances are they're all on Facebook anyway, right? So, you know, a couple of things that I've done that's free, like I get leads for free, is I've gone into groups and just engaged in conversation with people, just chatting. I've actually even asked questions in the group about, like, hey, I've asked questions like, you know, it kind of seems funny that everybody's business in this group is the best and the latest, and you better get on the ground. Well, isn't that kind of funny to you guys? Yes. And because nobody does that in those groups, people start commenting, and they're like, hey, yeah. Like, and I mean, I've had, like, you know, 65 comment threads out of basically groups that are spam groups. But I've gotten tons of contacts who are now good friends.
That's right.
You know, because there are actually people out there that are looking for somebody like you to come along. They don't, you know, they don't like the spam. So I just thought I'd share that little tip that was kind of worked for me. It doesn't work all the time. It depends on the group or what time of day or whatever. But
I think for me, yeah, no, that's good, right? That's awesome, Jennifer. I think that there are people that are looking, right? And most of the people that are spamming the groups just probably don't know any better. So I don't really like. Yeah, I don't. I know I've seen some people who post things about, well, when someone spams me, I do this and I'm ugly and I just think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think having like that snarky attitude with people, because guess what? What if that could be $1 million earner right there, because at least it's someone who's taking action. They just don't know the right action to take. And so they already have half the battle. If you could just fill in the other piece of the puzzle for them with a solution like MLSP, then that's a no-brainer for me. But that's me. Everybody, to each their own. But I feel like we're more like we have a life raft, and it's our job to save people if we can, not to, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
And point fingers. But so that's cool. That's actually a really kind of cool way to sort of interject yourself and people that are doing that, right? But for your question specifically for someone who's stressed about doing webinars, I think if I were going to talk to someone brand new and they had looked at the marketing strategies and they thought, okay, well, everybody's saying webinars. How do I get up the courage to go have my own webinar? I would say 3 things. Start with making a video a day, just so you get comfortable speaking on camera, and just do that at least for 30 days, right? I would say do that for 30 days. And then in the interim, when you connect with new people and you connect with leads, use the free Google Voice Call feature. So that you can, it's free, it's amazing, it's like inviting. I literally hang out like all day. When I call people, like I have this new fancy phone I got for business, which I love, by the way, but I still would rather do this with people because it's literally like we're having coffee in the living room and we're like chatting. And the cool thing about it is it's no pressure, it's not televised, it's not recorded, and then you can get used to all like the tools and everything, and how everything kind of works, And then I would say, so that's like step 2, and then step 3 is when you know something, just schedule a webinar. You don't have to promote it. Like if you have a webinars on air account, even the cheapest one, just schedule webinars and just do them. Because guess what? That's putting content on your YouTube channel, even if nobody shows up. And then you can take that video, because it's recorded, and put it on your blog, put it on Facebook. You can actually take the video, pull it down from YouTube, and create a custom capture page with it. Yeah. So if you said, look, the latest and greatest, so like I'm doing a webinar tomorrow night for Facebook, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it on a capture page. So I'm going to say, hey, here's a free hour-and-a-half training on how I'm getting targeted Facebook leads, and I'm going to make people opt in to get it. I'm not just going to, it'll be on my YouTube channel, but if they're seeing that, they're probably already on my list anyway, right?
Yeah, right.
So, so that's kind of, that to me, that kind of would step someone up in the experience, to being comfortable with getting on a webinar. And I think this is awesome. Like the fact that you guys are putting together this Mastermind Fever group is, for Fever Mastermind, I think I said it wrong, because you know what? You can bring people out so that they can start getting used to doing this. Because we all want to be on the Wednesday webinar, right? We want to be L3s and L4s and L5s, and we want to be training. And there are steps to get there. And just being in this environment and like talking and training and coaching in a friendly, like non-pressure environment is a huge stepping stone for a lot of people. So it'll give them the opportunity to kind of participate, but not have to actually put it together, right? Because sometimes I think that's intimidating to people. So I think that would be steps someone could take that would probably be helpful to them. Because, webinars are huge long term, even if you're not like selling on a webinar like Steve Jaffe is, but you're just sharing, know?
That's great. I do similar. I use Google Voice. It helps me eliminate going through those crazy phone calls, because the people that are serious and they hear my message, they will leave a message with a real number for me to contact them. And I actually had got the script from a training a year ago in MLSP. I don't know, it was Rob 4, but it works very well. I do something similar that Jennifer does. Actually, I look for groups that say in the description that they're about helping others, but you see it's actually spammy going on. And I know that was the original intent of the administrator, but they lost control, or they're not skilled at administrating the group. And I'll go in and I post pictures with quotes for weeks on end. And usually the administrators contact me for friendship. They just didn't know how to go about controlling a group. Maybe that's what they wanted, but they felt they didn't have enough information to be a self-help group. And the people that came in, they got so hooked on the numbers that it didn't matter. Just let people post what they want. And they've contacted me and said thank you and sent me friend requests. So that's worked. As far as a newbie doing a webinar, I agree. The video practice. The group is Mastermind Fever, you were correct, and what we've done there is we actually invite the community to host webinars for just the group members. for practice, and they'll do it. We tell them you can do it for 15 minutes or a half hour. Sometimes we'll have 2 presenters that evening, and then the ones who stepped up and done it actually went out and did their own our webinars, and they share the results with the group. So it's encouraging to get their practice. What I do with my coaching clients that want to go on to Facebook, I start off with the etiquette of it. I try to help them eliminate any of the frustration they may have to start posting stuff and getting those comments like you mentioned, Patricia. You know, like some people judge you when you spam. A spammer isn't necessarily a person that intends to do it. They haven't been taught.
Right.
They're not
That's
a member
right.
of a community that teaches them the difference. And
That's
what
right.
I do is I'll send the person a nice message. And, you know, glad to see you on such and such. It's a no spam community. If you would like to learn more about the appropriate way to market on Facebook, you know, see me at blah, 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 visit my fan page, or, you know, message me back, because you can assume. I remember when I was new, yeah, remember where you came from. And I think sometimes some of us don't. So
well, and one
the
thing
webinar, I think, would have to come later, but you also have to ask open-ended questions and ask. Some people have a lot of skills that they could slide right in. They just need to know the etiquette.
I agree. And one thing that's so great about MLSP is that it's this platform that provides, you know, all of the training for any kind of marketing that you want to do. But it also is a community that encourages such immense creativity. It's like, you know, well, you might be really great at, you know, video, but somebody else may not be. But you can take a piece of content and learn how to spin it into 5 or 6 different avenues and post it out there all over the place. I don't know any place else on the internet that teaches you how to do that and effectively without spamming. And play, you know, where there's all these people that are real professionals in each of these areas that are accessible to us. Just say, hey, you know, how can I? It's like we said, leaders are resourceful. You find the answer. You take it one step at a time, and you do what you know how to do. And you spin it and post it and get it out there.
Well, I like what you just said there, Jennifer. Do what you know how to do.
Yeah.
People overlook that, right? Like, we're all grown people, right? We all have a history and we all have a skill set. We're obviously here doing something. So you know some stuff, right, that is going to be valuable to someone. And so, again, Diane said this from stage. If people would stop focusing on trying to figure it out, right? Like, what are you figuring out? People think they have to figure it all out. They have to figure everything out before they can do anything. But if you would just get busy in other words, this is like focusing on your strengths and not your weaknesses, because people who want to be well-rounded, right, they want to work a little in the things they know, and then they want to go learn all the stuff they're not good at, so like they know everything. Who cares if you know everything? You just need to know enough to make it work. And you already know enough, right? Like, you already know enough. Now you just need to learn how to implement your current skill set, you know, to get some kind of result. That's it. That's really all it's about. And I'll tell you, some of the people that I talked to at the Live the Dream event, they were like frustrated because, you know, some of these people, I mean, I only joined in January, but guys, I mean, I've been a business owner for like 15 years where I've had to teach and train and coach other people. So believe me, to have that skill set, I'm very able to coach myself, right? Like, I know I can look at myself and see what I need to fix, right? And some people never done that. They just don't have that skill set. So for me to get in January, I'm mad because I'm not already in L4, right? I'm like, daggone it, you know. But for other people who are like, oh my gosh, I've been here a year and I'm not even L1, and it's just they don't know, you know. It's just anyway, you can't compare, I guess, is the point of that. But the thing is that I didn't get in and want to learn a bunch of stuff. That's it. And people were frustrated because they've made a ton of content. Like, they've done a lot of videos, or they've got all these fans on Facebook, or they've got all of this, like, article share stuff out there. I don't even know how to do that. I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds amazing. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, and they have all these followers on Twitter, right? And they're not making any money, right? And they have all this stuff out there, but it's not getting results. And so this is the part where you create, you implement, and then you look at your result. And guess what? If you don't have the result, and that's moving forward with intention, you have to know what the intended result is when you do stuff. And if it's to get leads and build a list, and if you're putting out 15, 20 videos a month and you're not getting leads, then it's time to tweak what you're doing. And people that I talked to were very frustrated to be in that stage. Well, I've done all this work, but I don't have the result. I would submit to the people, if you're in that place, be happy, because you've already done more than half of the work.
That's right.
Now, now it's just time to start tweaking and refining what you're doing. Because actually, guys, if you have a lot of content out there, all you would really have to do now is maybe go back to the things that are getting viewed the most. Go back to your most popular Facebook posts. Go back to the things that got some traction. Figure out what was exciting about it and just make those better. And then make a list of what works and then apply that to the new things that you're doing. And I think, I think that's a good place for people to be in their business. And I almost feel like people work so hard to get to that point and then they quit because they don't know how to go back and tweak their stuff. Right? And they don't even understand that that's where they're at. And so I mean, I had this conversation with multiple people and I was like, this is a good thing. Be happy.
And the thing is that when it doesn't work, I think it is so important to reach out to somebody who is having success and try to find out how they could make it better. So some people might just think, oh, but probably if I need to pay somebody to help me out, even like $50 or $80, it is too much. I'm still going to try to figure it out myself. Well, being an entrepreneur is also understanding that not everything is going to be free, and if you have to pay for something which is going to change potentially your life, just do it. If it's like saving on whatever you can save to make it happen, just make it happen, because it is going to be beneficial. So it is very important to see what is not working and how to make it better, because if you decide to quit, you will never know what you were about to reach. And eventually I know that the people who go back to it thought, I can't believe that it was so simple. That's right. It's just like going that step further and having the right mindset and think, okay, breathe in, breathe out, let's dive again. Yes, I can swim. 1 minute.
Exactly.
And then you realize that you can swim and you can make it and you feel so excited because, and I think it's probably what is exciting in these moments of pain, of sweat, when you cry. Obviously it is painful, nobody wants to be there, but when you're there and when you come out victorious, you know that you can take on the world, you can do anything, nothing is going to face you. You don't have any success right now, but success is coming. Right. Success is coming, and it's never crowded at the top. So by the time everybody says, oh, I can't do it, fine, you just keep on going. No success, but it's coming. You keep on going, keep on going. Everybody leaves, and you are by yourself.
Right. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I reached the top. How'd that happen?
Exactly.
And you win. So perseverance and taking action and having faith that something is going to come out from it is, to me, has been just like mind-blowing, because when I joined MLSP, I was like just so amazed. I was like, this is going to be what is going to change my life, and it is changing my life. But then at some point, the money dried out, so I didn't have any money to pay for my blog, for my hosting. So for 8 months, it was like a big disaster, and I could have just thought, okay, well, nothing is happening. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I thought, well, Facebook is still free. You know, I can still go there, make connections with people, and make friends, and who knows what is going to happen. Okay, well, I'm not in MLSP anymore, but I'm still a human being, and I can still talk to people. So nobody knows what is happening. Maybe you know in your life, I mean, not maybe, you definitely know what is happening in your life. But you know that you have to make it happen, because if not that, what? If not that, there isn't anything else. apart from going back to work and going back to the life that you know already. So it is the time to make it happen right now, because tomorrow is not promised.
No,
And you don't know
right.
what is going to happen tomorrow. So today, something has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's you learn so much in time of pain and trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wish that to anybody, but
Well, pain is a proven motivator.
yeah.
It is, and one thing that was mentioned at MLSP, at Live the Dream, was pain pushes you until a vision pulls you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was just these little statements are really important for me anyway. I will put them up on my computer screen or type them up, in a place where I can see them often, because it reminds me that, having a vision, getting to that place, and you have to walk through those hard times first. That's what gets you to the other side. And, you mentioned finding a mentor, finding somebody that, connect yourself with a leader, with somebody who is getting it done and do what they do. I mean, it really is that simple.
And they will tell you go to live events. And, oh no,
That's right.
That's not what I wanted to hear. Sorry, tell me, Lydia, you wanted to talk, because we are going slightly over the time, I'm realizing.
Oh, okay.
You wanted to talk about what is going to be hot in 2014. So
Yes, let's round up with that. Webinars, we touched on that. We told that's hot now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hot for the coming year. And video marketing. That's all you've been hearing about for the whole year. Now, they go hand in hand, because your webinars are recorded. And so is there anything else anybody heard that's hot and new and coming up of interest to share with the folks? Anybody hear anything?
Those were the two things
Those are the two things.
would have said. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Right.
I'll submit a couple of things just that I want to focus on in the new year for me and my business. And I think that anybody who kind of, I think it could work for absolutely anybody, because one is people, well, two things. So it's mentorship and services.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two things that I'm going to be focusing on. And mentorship to me means that people need to stop looking at their MLSP business as an affiliate referral program, okay?
Yeah.
And start looking at it as you need to give your people inside MLSP just as much attention as you would people in your MLM. And the culture that you build amongst your team within your MLM, I think, like, those of us who've been in them, we understand what that looks like. It's much more like warm and fuzzy. It's much more giving of your time. It's much more of that than what you see most of, even the leaders, the time that they spend, because they don't have time. I don't know what that looks like for some people, but my training schedule with my MLSP team is going to be a large portion of my week. And I think that not only, because to get to L6, I have to have two L3s and L2s and L1s, but it's set up in such a way for leadership, right? Because I can do this thing, but until I can help someone else do this thing too, then I haven't had that personal growth that is really required to become the leader that we're destined to be. So mentorship, I think, is a missing component from what a lot of people are doing, and they need to really implement and take a look at where they're at with that. And the other side is services, because even like you said, Aurore, you spend yourself out of business. Because that's what happens. We get into this thing because we want to make money, but it costs money to make money. Yeah. And there's a time element here that a lot of people get in, they get excited, they buy too many tools, they get a lot of training, and then they don't understand to go to implement it. It's going to cost, time and money, because if you're going to backlink, if you're going to do this, if you're going to all that stuff is not free. So for services, it's teaching my team members how to go out and make right now money for themselves. Like, we know how to install Facebook application tabs. We know how to set up YouTube channels. We know how to probably set up blogs. We know how, there is a lot of stuff that we as individuals know how to do that we could, in essence, when we're connecting with people, just like referring them into MLSP, that's great and all, but if they, you know, if they only come in at Academy and they only stay for a month, you've made $6. That's not really, that's not helping you out. If we need $300 a month to pay for all of our business expenses, so it's not coming out of our, you know, our regular budget, right, our family budget, then if we could kind of bridge the gap between where people start and where they want to go, I think that gap can be bridged with teaching people how to offer their services to people, and it's easier. It's a mindset shift for people, especially if they've always been an employee. So if you have someone who has never worked for themselves, who's never like tagged their hour to be worth more than $12.50 or whatever it is you get paid per hour, right? It's difficult to say, I'm going to do a webinar and you should pay me $10,000. It's just hard. It's hard to shift into that mindset. So I think doing services where people can look at their business as a business and start getting paid for what they know in that way, not only will it put money into their business fund, you know, it'll fund their business, but it'll also allow them to begin that step-by-step mind shift into being paid for their value, as opposed to like the stuff that we do, because that's where that's all a lot of times where people seem to be stuck. So for me, those are the two big things for me that I'm going to be focused on in the new year, you know, with my team, and I encourage other people to take a look at that too, because I really, really think that it will help. You know, if you're focused on mentorship, you're going to attract more people to you, right? And if you're focused on mentorship, you're going to help a lot of people. And I think for both of those things, that's true.
Well, the retention is important. And if you don't provide that mentorship and service, you won't have it.
That's right.
But we all hear about giving value. So it's not just giving value to the people out there in MLMs who are hurting, but it's giving value to our own community. And we see it modeled, you know, all the time with the webinars and all the stuff that we get through MLSP. But as leaders, we need to pay it forward and continue to provide that value to the people that come in who are overwhelmed and new at the beginning. I mean, we have to remember where we were. And so I think that's a great goal, and great that you said that, Patricia.
Yes,
I like the idea of paying it forward. I think it's so important because obviously you can't just go online and pitch blatantly your business, but that's the reason why we've joined MLSP, and that's the reason why we teach other people to learn how to market online. But what we need to understand as well is those people that we have attracted to MLSP can potentially become our business partners as well. So yes, we have a double duty to look after them, because by them understanding how to market online, it is also going to help you if you got, you know, an MLM business, because they're going to produce more, they're going to have more people signing up under them. So it's a win-win-win situation. You can't just say, well, you know, you are only worth $6 of my time, so actually I have no time for you. When most people, when they see the magic of MLSP, can decide to upgrade and become a mastery member, what do? You know, you can't. You're not going to kick them out because they are not bringing you an income. Where if you nurture them, they will understand, because it's all about educating the people to do the right choices. So when you understand that you get 100% commissions on the product that you sell, there is nothing complicated about it. It's
absolutely
30%, 400%.
When you provide quality support and good service, these people can follow you for years.
Yeah, ooh la la, yeah. Ooh la
you know, and you also help others learn to bring value long term to our profession that has a stigma. You know, an unjustified stigma, because it's not the masses, I believe, that created that stigma. But when you have people come in and you don't give them support, and we're the responsible ones to help them carry on the message, yes, network marketing works. Yes, multi-level marketing works. My coach, my sponsor, blah blah blah. And these people, these are people that help your income years on. You develop a product. Who you think gonna buy from you? They might not join. They might not. You help them be successful in MLSP or whatever community you're in. They might not join your MLM or your primary, but develop a product and watch. They're like, wow, this person's taught me so much and helped me here. I'm going to support them. They'll edify you. They'll tell other people about your product. You know, so it's twofold.
Well, and I think that if you know, when we say leading by example, if that's what you put out there, if that's how you choose to move forward in your business with your team, and you mentor and you edify your people and even other people, MLSP is kind of cool that way, right? we're not connected, but we like each other. We're gonna say, yay, go you, and all that kind of good stuff, right? But if that's what you do, if that's what you teach them, hey, look, this is what we're about here, right? Then we're gonna make sure that the next wave of leaders that come through do the same thing. So you know, so we have to make sure that we're doing that to the highest level possible, you know, to our ability. And if you don't know how to mentor your team, reach out. What does that look like? Right? Like, because that's something that changes for each of us, because all of our businesses are in different places and what you know is different. So joining Mastermind Fever or joining groups where people are really focused on mentoring and helping raise up the next level of leaders, you know, that's it, right? That's what it's all about. So kudos to you ladies. I'm excited to see what you're doing, and I'm glad that you invited me out tonight. I appreciate your time and being here.
We love you. You look so pretty. I love your hair. I love your videos. I love you.
I have been sleeping all day.
A long night. No,
that's what it looks like. Okay, well, have you seen me?
I want to thank everyone who's watching us for attending tonight. Guests and Mastermind Fever group members, and Patricia Sweeney Moore and Jennifer Lickey. Thank you for being our featured guest tonight. I hope you join us again. If you have anything you would like to share with our community, just send myself or Aurore a message, and we can skip. And we usually have our webinars or hangouts at 8 p.m. on Monday nights. So stay in touch, ladies. Let's give each other support in what we do. I love to. I'm a comment person more than a like person, because I think the comments go further. I don't like to do drop-in. I call them drive-by. Just hit click like and keep going. I like to let a person know. Yes, I really like that because blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's just my stuff, y'all. But that's how I coach. Take some time and put a comment up there.
That's right. Take a minute. Take a second.
I know. And my mastermind partner, as usual, thank you very much for being in my life.
I love your new hair. It's beautiful. Love your hairstyle.
We're all just about complimenting each other tonight. Yeah. You gotta feel good about yourself. You come hang out here.
I was on a mission. Before I lived the dream.
I'm telling you.
I covered up that gray. That's what it was. I covered up the gray. You know, somebody. You know what? You gotta watch who you talk to. An older woman tried to convince me to own the gray.
No.
So I was going for a little something. I said, I'm not going to live the dream with this gray. This is not me. That's not me. I'm not owning it. So I went and paid for ownership for 45 minutes in a beautician's chair. That's what
That's right.
That's what I did.
That's what I own.
I was like, no, I'm not owning the gray. Forget about it. It came early. That's not my problem.
Own what makes you feel good about you, lady. That's what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. You ladies don't have that problem yet, but
oh yes, I do.
Trust the process.
But you know what? I want to say that beyond, you know, one thing I love about MLSP is how much fun we have. We work really hard and we play really hard. And I love how people love on each other. And I think that you ladies just have such beautiful hearts. And I just want to say that because, you know, that's what keeps me going, is knowing that I work with such beautiful people with such integrity that what you see is what you get. And just wanted to say that. I love that.
Ditto, lady.
Thank you. Same to
Yeah, that
you.
was so nice. Thank you.
I know it.
So, Aurora, you have any last words before we end tonight?
Oh, well, you know what? I didn't know exactly how it was going to come to place with Hangout about sharing our experiences about attending live events, as I know that people are fond of, technical stuff, like everything which is technical. And we spoke a lot about mindset, actually. And we said that having the right mindset is what is going to propel you to the next level and see you reach new heights. So I felt so excited. I feel bubbly. I'm just like, woo, I'm awake. It's 2 o'clock, nearly 3 o'clock in the morning here, but I'm like, oh, this is good. I can't wait to be already like next year to attend the No Excuses Summit in May, and then in November, Live the Dream. And I can't wait to be on stage to get my award. I'm nearly level 2, so it's coming. I'm just pumped up and so proud and excited to be with wonderful people like yourself. And what you said, Jennifer, was beautiful. I don't even know how you said it, but it was beautiful.
Are all of you
So
going to
thank
No
you so much.
Excuses? Is everybody going to No Excuses?
It's going
I
to
think
be
so.
hot,
Huh?
Yeah.
Me
I would
too.
like to go. I don't know the exact dates yet. They didn't have that published.
No, they didn't say it yet. But he said
Yeah.
May or June, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only issue that I have is that my son is turning 13. And, sometimes, this is the reality of this business. I have to juggle, some of these things with my family. And so we had planned a big trip for him because he's turning 13. So if it doesn't conflict with that, I will be there.
Great, great.
Absolutely. Because Lydia, just for 2 seconds, share what we know Excuses Summit is going to be that important next year.
Well, I haven't attended a No Excuses Summit, but Fernie did describe that's going to be much different from before. So what attracted my attention to it, why I feel like I must be there, because he says it's going to be experiential. There's going to be a lot of hands-on training. There's going to be assignments and homework given to you weeks prior to even getting to the event. And there's going to be actual results. You're going to experience actual results with leads. Now, this training was offered to their students for $5,000 before. So he said the whole No Excuses Summit is going to be just that. And every speaker, every presenter is going to be about the training that we'll be going through. There's not going to be any pitching going off to the side. It's just going to be straight up training, and you're going to experience lead generation right there. The whole purpose is centered around that. And I like that. And he showed us a video or some clips of people who attended, paid the $5,000, and I saw some people that are doing very well and were doing well before they attended that training.
I spoke to Kate and Andrew McShay about that because they're one of the people who actually participated in the No Excuses Mastermind, and it's like they have like another event in January, and like I think once you do that, like you can also do like the stuff where you're an ambassador and like you're selling tickets, and there's this whole other like thing you can do with it. But so basically they were super pumped. They said, yeah, absolutely. They said hands down it was completely worth it. And she was like, oh my gosh, she was like, get the tickets now because you guys are really going to be able, you literally are getting what we paid $5,000 for last year. And Fernie was one of the people, Fernie Sabellis, he was one of the people who obviously do No Excuses, but he, his whole thing was the mentorship, right? Like he was one of the ones that talked about that from stage as well. And it was kind of cool because, sometimes you have like these half-formed thoughts. Like I was thinking, thoughts about this, but when he got up on stage and started speaking to it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, so it kind of validated and sort of helped to cement the idea that I had already kind of had back here floating around. Right. And that was one of the things they talked about was, that it's more about mentorship and helping people, like meeting people where they're at and then helping them bridge the gap, whatever that looks like in their business. So I don't know. I've never been to No Excuses because actually this Live the Dream was my very first marketing event because I just started this year. So I'm really excited to, see what it has to offer. I'm also going to check out the MLSP Mastermind retreat.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly when that goes on, but you know, again, guys, for me, it's okay. Well, do I need I need about $10,000 this year to attend all the events that are coming up. So time to get to working on my webinars or whatever that looks like for you. And so I just want to make sure that that kind of stuff is covered in my business. And that's the intention that I'll be moving forward with. Because again, if you can make 10 grand, you can make 100,000. I mean, it's very relative at that point.
Yeah.
Have they announced yet about the retreat? They've chosen people yet? Did I miss it? Did I miss the announcement?
I mean,
oh, okay.
I think that what I understand is that paperwork that we were filling out there was a two thing. I think it was to gauge the level of interest from the crowd, and also potentially have one person be chosen as, like, you know, they get a free retreat or something. I'm not. I think that was what that paperwork was. But I'm sure they will announce it probably in the next month or so. Probably right after they announce all the new improvements that we're getting to our system with the mobile and the CRM and the automated webinars and all that stuff. So I'm thinking probably like the end of January, early February, we'll have a firm date for the Mastermind retreat, and then those tickets would go on sale. And I know it's usually limited to like 25 people. So I think it's first come, first serve after that point. And I don't know, maybe they reach out to the folks who fill out the paperwork first. I'm not sure, but I definitely know that the tickets go on sale. So I think you're good. I think if it's something you're thinking about doing, that you'll have the opportunity to reserve your spot. But that means you have to have the money probably in February to actually lock in your spot, because what they do, it's a very limited time and window that it's open to actually get tickets for that. So
Wow, going to be busy, man.
Good.
I know. As I said, I was planning out my events for the year. My calendar is looking full. But that's good, right? All the energy we have coming off of that, I'll be straight if I can keep that level of energy up throughout the entire year.
Great. Well, ladies, I'm going to have to say goodnight to you all.
Thank you.
And thank you again for coming. I look forward to meeting up with you live, up close and personal again at our next events, and hooking up online. And Patricia, we have no excuse. We're in Virginia.
I know. You're like 45 minutes away from me.
I know.
Oh, this is so cool.
We got to pick a date and get together.
Yeah.
Real soon. I'll get in touch with you. I have some trips coming up, and when I get back, I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in Richmond all the time. Most of my family lives in Richmond, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. That's good.
That'd be fun. All right, ladies.
I live in near London, in the UK.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's all right. We'll have to come over there. I know I assume that there'll be an MLSP event there, like in the next few years. I'm thinking, because there's a lot of you guys. I want to go to that one.
Me too. I'll buy my ticket right now.
Yeah, that would be great.
Where you are, guys.
That would be a trip. Yep, that'd be good.
Anyway, I leave it. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Thank you who are still watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Okay, I hope I'm doing it properly. Stop broadcast.